Hello everyone, welcome. In today's video, we'll talk about supply chain management, procurement versus purchasing, the role of procurement professionals and procurement units within businesses, as well as the future of procurement and procurement technologies. Great. Today, let's talk about supply chain management, after which we'll talk about procurement, purchasing, and then talk about the technological side of it as well. We will try to find the sweet spots that intersect in all these conversations. Now, when you hear supply chain management, what comes to mind? Consider this flowchart: input, transformation, output. Supply chain management is managing the input and the output of this transformation process. Let me give you some two examples so we try to appreciate supply chain management. Consider yourself as a patient who walks into the hospital. You are the input in this process. Now, when you're admitted in the hospital or when you go into the hospital, you undergo some transformation process and then you come out as a recovered patient. Supply chain management in this particular context is the management of the input and output of the transformation process. The second example, for the beer lovers, consider water, malt, yeast, and other additives go through the distillation processes in our breweries, and it comes out as a bottle of beer. Now, the supply chain management in this last or second example is the management of the inputs and the output of the transformation process. That is supply chain management. Now, supply chain management largely embodies creating, managing, and implementing seamless value-added services across the borders of an organization or a business to achieve the desired goals. The managers of these processes usually focus on three major things. One, timeliness. Two, quality. And the third is the legalities of the supplier. Let's deep dive into procurement. My colleagues in the office and around I engaged recently all thought procurement was all about cost savings. But that is not it. Beyond cost savings, there are other things the procurement units in your organization or your business are up to that probably you are not aware of. It could be that they might not be audible enough, or they are not sharing what they are doing within their space. That's why we tend to think all the unit is about is cost savings. I will share with you five major things the procurement units within your business or within organizations are up to that sometimes we do not know about. And beyond these five, there are other and many more critical and important things the procurement professionals within your business are up to. One, due diligence and risk management. The procurement unit within your business or your organization is in charge of vendor due diligence and risk management. Now, vendors we work with or vendors that the organization works with need to undergo some proper scrutiny so that we can actually mitigate any risk that are involved or come across associating with these vendors. So in the due diligence processes, it actually focuses on three major things. One, to identify and assess. Two, to prevent and mitigate any associated risk. And three, to account for any risk or reviews that are done on or about these vendors. So in essence, the procurement unit within your business would probably put some microscope on the vendors that we work with or that you are about to work with in delivering services or goods to your business. Two, supplier management. This is a meticulous process that focuses on managing and improving third-party vendors and suppliers that we work with. In this process or during supplier management, what happens is, one, you segregate or segment your vendor base or the vendors that the business works with. Two, you develop a strategy in improving upon these vendors. Three, you execute the strategy that you've developed in actually improving and making these vendors or suppliers better. And then you execute the strategy. So the procurement unit is actually responsible for actually holding the hands of the supplier like a toddler and making sure they grow into full-blown strategic partners for your business and any other business the procurement professional works with. 3, contract management. This actually is done in tangent with the legal unit of the business, where the procurement professional will work closely with the legal experts in translating all the procurement processes into a contract, and the contract being monitored by the procurement professional or the legal team. In most businesses, and at where I've worked, the monitoring is done by the procurement team. This is where the procurement professional or the procurement unit actually monitor the key performance indicators or KPIs in the scope or in the contract document. You look at the service level agreement, that's the SLAs in the contract. You even monitor the terms and other agreements in the contract, making sure that the vendor delivers their ends of the contract bargain and the business also delivers, or the company delivers their end of the contract bargain. 4, total cost of ownership and return on investment. This particular one may sound a bit like what you usually know about procurement officers or procurement professionals, the cliche about cost savings. But this is holistic, whereby the procurement professional actually looks at the number of items you are buying, how much it costs to own it, or how much it costs to have everything. In essence, the procurement professional will advise whether you should buy in bulk or you should buy a particular threshold, because buying that threshold would actually be better than buying probably some quantum of the whole threshold. And the reason is simple. For example, you work with a business that needs books or that uses paper on the daily. If the cost of a paper is 1 cedi, every day you might be buying a paper for 1 cedi. However, if you should buy per the forecast that you have and buy in volumes, you are likely, there are 100% chances that you will get the bulk at a lesser figure or at a lesser price. So when you're buying in bulk, the vendor will not sell it to you for 1 cedi per paper. You're likely to get it for 1 cedi minus X, where the X is what the procurement professional or the procurement unit will negotiate. So in that context, you're looking at total cost of ownership. You're looking at the cost of everything when you buy per the forecast and the threshold. And in this context, the procurement professional usually and most of the time would bring you some value or some return on investment. So your return on that investment in buying in bulk would be better than the return on investment when you're buying every other day, when you're doing a repeat buy. So that is one of the values that the procurement unit will bring to you. They will bring you an overview or perspective on your total cost of ownership of buying services or buying goods, and also show you an idea or give you pictures or some numbers on your return on investment when you take such a decision. 5, stakeholder management. To our project management office and project management professionals, I earlier thought stakeholder management starts with only project management, but the procurement office and procurement professionals are key members or key elements to look out for when it comes to stakeholder management. In the procurement space, you tend to manage a lot of stakeholders within the organization and outside the organization. So look out for all the various departments or functions that will come to you to undertake a procurement transaction, and the third parties that you work with in procuring or acquiring these procurement requests from. That is to say, procurement is not all about cost savings obsessions. It goes way, way beyond that. Stakeholder management is very, very key, and our procurement professionals and procurement unit on the day-to-day basis are engaging with different stakeholders across the business, within the business, and beyond the business. And as such, they undertake everyday stakeholder management. Our procurement unit and professionals within our businesses largely contribute to EGS, environmental, social, and governance. With regards to environmental, we procure from vendors who are giving us services or providing us goods that are environmentally friendly and relatable. 2, we make sure that vendors we are procuring from and engaging actually have very good relationships with their employees and the communities in which they relate. Thirdly and lastly, we ensure that these vendors, third-party stakeholders that we're actually relating with or engaging on behalf of the business have very good internal controls, audit standards, have very good leadership, and very good shareholder rights. Procurement today, specifically in Ghana, more than 80% still remains manual or still remains a human-faced transaction. However, the 20% represent an automation of only the sourcing or just a little beyond the source stage of a procurement process. However, globally, there are entities and corporate organizations that are running their procurement process fully by artificial intelligence, that's the AI, and machine learning, that is ML. This also indicates and brings to bear that there's a gap to be filled when it comes to the procurement processes, especially in Ghana. Need I say, in my other videos which are yet to come, we might delve a bit deeper into that conversation. But procurement today in Ghana, 80% still remains manually done and some 20% done by machines and softwares. Let's look at the future of procurement and procurement technology. In the year 2021, the Economic Intelligence Unit reported that 45% of companies globally had their businesses significantly disrupted by COVID-19. Aside this, 36% actually represented disruptions as a result of cyber attacks. About 33% represent disruptions that were caused as a result of price fluctuations, and some 32% representing disruptions as a result of divergent regulations. Yes, just probably relook at those numbers if they are not scary. The future has a lot of things that it holds for procurement and procurement technology. Here are 2 of them I would want to share with you. Data intelligence, DI. Data intelligence is an area we should look out for as procurement professionals and procurement units within businesses and organizations. Take a look at the PwC 2022 Digital Procurement Survey. It reveals that 84% of companies with high-level digital procurement processes were able to gain value from the procurement data that were churned out of these softwares or these processes. Yet, 34% of these companies also reported lack of expertise that could leverage this data. Just think about that. Think about that again. 2, integrated technology and talent. Integrated technology and talent. The future holds it that because there's going to be a lot of emerging technology or new technologies that would disrupt the procurement system and the procurement space, there would also be the need for integration with talent. Ask yourself, how would the AI make decisions and do everything? How would machine learning do everything without the button press done by a human being or done by a talent? We will need talent that can leverage their skills to integrate and work hand in hand with these platforms, these softwares, and these technologies. In conclusion, supply chain management is about managing the input and output of a transformation process. Procurement is a strategic process. Purchasing is a transactional process. Let's also move away from the fact that the procurement professionals or the procurement unit are cost savings obsessed. That is not the case. They go beyond cost savings. There are a lot of things that they do which I treated in the video. On the front of the future of procurement and procurement technology is going to be disrupted by technology and by the digital space. And as such, talent within this space would have to brace themselves up with skills, upgrading, and more. Okay, folks, thanks for watching this video. Do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends and family. Until then, my name is Precious Ishan Bailey.